My name is Jordan Gata. I'm the marketing manager here at Renegade. Let's start over here. Just kind of going to give a walk around to the booth here, show off what Renegade has going on. We've got a lot of different things happening at once, so just sort of an introduction to all the very different umbrellas that we operate with. Lots of different games, lots of fun stuff. So really something for everyone, which is really one of the coolest things about us, I think. So starting here, this is what I call Saturday morning cartoon land. We've got Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, Transformers, and My Little Pony. 4 super prolific brands. Right now we have a deck building game and a role-playing game for each of those brands. So kind of starting with the role-playing game, there's a core book for each of those right now. And every single one of those brands, save for My Little Pony, because the core book actually just released 2 weeks ago. Right there is a stack of it. But every single one of those brands, save My Little Pony, is pretty well established at this point. What is happening now in that world? It's kind of the villain era. So we've got stuff like Decepticon Directive, which lets you play Decepticons and Transformers. Cobra Codex lets you play Cobra with G.I. Joe, and then a couple of our new Power Rangers books actually lets you play Psycho Rangers as reformed villains. So pretty neat. And this right here that we're standing in front of is the field guide to action and adventure. This is kind of what ties all of it together. So you'll see here the 3 different brands on the cover. This is our first crossover source book. So it actually allows you to play with all of these, what we call action and adventure brands in one campaign. My Little Pony is not on here because we don't include it in that action and adventure. It's more of a friendship and magic. However, My Little Pony is compatible with these 3 game worlds as well. So if you want to load up Twilight Sparkle and Optimus and drive into battle, you certainly can. What's happening right now in the world of deck building is we're starting to verge into crossover territory. So each of the different deck builders operates differently. So it's a different experience for the My Little Pony deck building game versus G.I. Joe. They don't play the same. So what we've been doing is now meshing those communities together with crossover content like Collision Course, which brings the Transformers into My Little Pony. We also have new alliances, which is not here, but recently released, I think like 4 weeks ago. That brings the Transformers into G.I. Joe, so pretty cool. You do, of course, have stuff like Mission Critical and Heroes of the Grid for Power Rangers and G.I. Joe. Those aren't on display, but if you like miniature games and sort of a tactical experience, highly recommend those. Super good. This is sort of a great window into what we've got coming for the rest of 2023 in terms of our what we call, Renegade Originals, or just our board and party games. Scholars of the South Tigris, the Garfield game, instant classic, all of those games, they just don't miss. Legacy of You was the last one to release, sold out day 1. They have a cult following, and for good reason. Lost Species is the next in the Search For series. So if you're familiar with the Search for Planet X, really good logical deduction game. Search for Lost Species takes you on that same journey, but actually offers a lot more replayability because it has 6 different lost species you can find, each with a different logic rule. So a lot of different experiences that you can kind of walk through in one game. Ex Libris, there's a 2nd edition coming. So Ex Libris is an old game from 2019 that we published. It's an evergreen at this point, super good. Very whimsical sort of bookworm experience. If you're the kind of person who likes to go into Barnes & Noble and just kind of hang out for the smell of the books, this is the game for you. Down here we have Good Omens, a Ragnarok, Orbit, and an expansion for Bargain Quest. And then on the very bottom shelf here we have more Garfield games. So Circadian's First Light and Circadian's Chaos Order, 2 expansions for those, Specialists and Harbingers. Again, instant classics, super good games. Now we are in the World of Darkness corner. So a stark contrast to Saturday morning cartoon land over there, sunshine and rainbows. Now we're in doom and gloom, World of Darkness. So the easiest and fastest way to explain these is we have 3 different lenses available right now for you to experience the World of Darkness. Vampire the Masquerade, Hunter the Reckoning, and Werewolf the Apocalypse. So all 3 of those lenses will offer a very different outlook and experience in that same game world. Vampire the Masquerade, intrigue, social deduction, sort of subtlety and maneuvering and political scheming. Werewolf the Apocalypse is a game where you are essentially trying to prevent the destructions of greed and forces of destruction in Gaia, or that is harming Gaia, the Earth Mother, which is essentially Earth. So as a werewolf, the example I always give is, if there's some huge oil company that is wreaking havoc on the planet, in Werewolf, you would simply barge into the stakeholder meeting and just dispose of them violently, and that's it. No protests, just simple, quick fix. Hunter of the Reckoning, the final lens that we have available right now, offers a really gritty, in-the-mud type of experience where you just play a simple human being who has witnessed some evidence of this supernatural phenomenon in our world, be it werewolves or vampires, and depending on how that witnessing event unfolded, you develop some kind of a drive, which gives you some sort of a reason to be an adversary to those forces. So, really amazing game world. It's over 20 years old, so all of these books are part of the new V5 storyteller systems. I also do want to point out Vampire the Masquerade Rivals. So this is an expandable card game, also known as a living card game. Everything that you need is in this box, and then there are different expansion sets that offer new clans and new approaches to the game. And again, everything you need is in each box. In addition to this core set, there's another entry to the game, Hunters and the Hunted. It's a new core set that allows you to play as hunters. All right, and now we are entering into our corner of the booth where we've got all of our classic strategy games. So, Diplomacy, Acquire, Robo Rally, and Axis and Allies. 4 very prolific brands have a significant place in history. They're classics for a reason. The gameplay in each of those is phenomenal. So what we did with those games, we did not want to take them and change what made them great. So something that was very important for us was working with the community, and we did so on each of them. Our producers have community leaders from each of those different brands who actually consulted with us and helped us determine what should change. For example, with Diplomacy, we worked with a gentleman named Thomas Haver, who is the current world champion for Diplomacy. Just gave us some good insights, such as that the bits being plastic wasn't something that the players liked, so we changed them to be wooden. He also helped us write a quick start guide that is now in this rulebook because he explained to us that it is a very simple game that oftentimes is more intimidating to players because it appears to be this long experience, but it's actually quite easy to teach. So that theme is present in all of these classics. We really tried to work with the communities to make them better and craft an experience for the actual players who are playing these games. So moving over this way, we can take a look at all of our reprints for Axis and Allies. We just wanted to get these back into the market, make them more readily available. So we've got 1940 Europe and Pacific, 1941, 1942, and then most recently 1914 Axis and Allies. So that's kind of our jumping off point for Axis and Allies, and we are going to be introducing a new original battle. It's going to be called North Africa. And the way that we determined what that would be is we put it to a community vote. We gave 4 options, and the community decided North Africa. So very exciting. In addition to that, other Axis and Allies news, just this Friday, we announced a G.I. Joe game that will operate on the Axis and Allies game engine. So that is pretty significant because obviously G.I. Joe is similar in theme to Axis and Allies. So there's a lot of G.I. Joe fans who might like Axis and Allies. So the goal here is give them a game that runs on the fantastic system designed by Larry Harris, give them a reason to get interested, give them an entryway, and we'll grow that great community even further. So very excited for that. Over here is Robo Rally. So again, I already explained our approach with this, how we really went to the community and made sure to consult and ensure that we weren't changing what made it such a great game. But just to show off our sort of modernized and upgraded box art, bringing it into this age, this is probably the one that had the most changes. Again, all based on community feedback. But 2 of the things that I like to point out is that the figures in here, the little minis, are actually now painted. So they come with a little bit of extra life to them. And the box, I mean, I'm just such a fan of this new box art. You spotted it on Diplomacy as well. We sold out of Acquire here in the booth, so I can't show you that one. But if you go to our website, you can check it out. All of these games, we are super honored and excited to be working on them. It's a dream come true. So many of these brands are so prolific and classic in their own right. that it truly is just the greatest experience in the world for all of us to get to work on them. So thank you for letting me show you around. I know that was a ton of information, but I'm glad to kind of give you a window into what it's like here at Renegade. My name is Jordan Gata. I'm the marketing manager here at Renegade. Happy to interact with anyone who wants to come and chat with me in the communities. We've got a great space on Discord, a lot of different Facebook groups on Facebook, and some good places in other areas of the interweb. So come and find us. We like to hang out. We like to talk with other gamers. Thanks, guys.